Analysis. The user wants a 1,400-word story based on a specific title about a billionaire, CEO, and a single dad with a meaningful tattoo. They want strong emotional opening, themes of kindness, selflessness, and humanity, USA audience focus, captivating hook, relatable characters, unexpected turns, emotional climax, heartwarming ending. No headings. USA English. This is a creative writing request that I can fulfill directly without needing computer tools. I'll craft an engaging narrative that builds tension and delivers an emotional payoff. The rain hammered against the floor-to-ceiling windows of Sterling. Tower's executive suite like 1,000 angry fists demanding entry. Inside, Marcus Sterling stood with his back to his assistant, his shoulders rigid, his reflection in the glass, showing a man who'd built an empire but lost something far more precious along the way. The intercom buzzed, 3 sharp bursts that made his jaw tighten. "Sir, there's a situation in the lobby." "Security says," he cut her off with a wave of his hand, already moving toward the elevator, his Italian leather shoes clicking against the marble with the precision of a man who'd never had to wait for anything in his life. What Marcus didn't know as that elevator descended 53 floors was that the next 10 minutes would shatter everything. He thought he knew about success, about people, and about the tattoo that would haunt him for the rest of his days. The lobby of Sterling Enterprises was chaos. Marcus stepped out of his private elevator to find his security team, surrounding a man, thin, maybe 35, wearing a faded denim jacket with patches at the elbows and jeans that had seen better years. The man clutched a little girl to his chest, maybe 5 years old, with dark curls and wide, frightened eyes that reminded Marcus of someone he'd spent 15 years trying to forget. "What the hell is going on here?" Marcus's voice cut through the commotion like a blade. His head of security, Rodriguez, turned with visible relief. "Mr. Sterling, this man refuses to leave. He's been here for 2 hours, claiming he has an appointment with you. We've checked every system. There's nothing scheduled." The man shifted the little girl in his arms, and Marcus saw her for the first time, really saw her. She wore a pink jacket that was too small, and her shoes had cartoon characters on them that had faded from too many washes. But it was her eyes that stopped him. Brown, deep, filled with an intelligence that seemed too old for her small face. "I'm not leaving until I talk to him," the man said, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. "I don't care if I have to stand here all night." "My daughter deserves better than this." Marcus felt the familiar anger rising in his chest, the same anger that had powered him. Through hostile takeovers, through cutthroat negotiations, through the building of a billion-dollar empire. "I don't know who you are or what you think you're owed, but I don't have time for this. Security, get him out of my building, now." "Please," the man said, and something in that single word made Marcus pause. It wasn't begging. It was something else, something that sounded like dignity wrapped in desperation. "Just 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking." "I said get out of my company," Marcus snapped, his voice echoing off the vaulted ceiling. As security moved forward, the little girl began to cry, and the man adjusted his grip, revealing his forearm. That's when Marcus saw it, the tattoo that would change everything. It was a simple design, faded with age, a phoenix rising from flames, and beneath it, numbers, a date, June 14th, 2010. Marcus's world tilted on its axis. His hand shot out involuntarily. "Wait," he said, his voice suddenly hoarse. "Everyone stop." He took 3 steps forward. His eyes locked on that tattoo, on those numbers that were burned into his memory as surely as they were, inked into this stranger's skin. June 14th, 2010. The day Marcus Sterling had died and been reborn. "Where did you get that?" Marcus whispered. The man's expression shifted from defensive to confused. "What?" "That tattoo. Where did you get it?" The lobby had gone silent. Even the little girl had stopped crying, sensing something monumental shifting in the air around them. The man looked down at his forearm as if seeing it for the first time. "I got it. I got it after the accident. On Route 95, 15 years ago. I was in the car behind you when your Mercedes went off the bridge." He swallowed hard. "I pulled you out of the water. You weren't breathing. I did CPR for 12 minutes while my girlfriend called. 911, the paramedics, said another 30 seconds, and you'd have been gone." Marcus felt the floor beneath him turn liquid. He'd been told someone saved him that day, a good Samaritan who'd disappeared before the ambulance arrived. The police had searched, but there were no cameras on that stretch of highway. No way to track down the ghost who'd given him a second chance at life. You, Marcus breathed. You were the one. The man nodded slowly. I never wanted anything for it. I couldn't let you die. But now... His voice cracked and he held his daughter tighter. Now I need help, and I didn't know where else to turn. Your foundation has a program for medical grants. My daughter Emma, she has a heart condition. The surgery she needs costs $200,000, and my insurance won't cover it. I've applied to your foundation 3 times. 3 times I've been rejected with a form letter saying, I don't meet the criteria. Marcus felt like he'd been punched in the chest. Rodriguez, clear the lobby, now. Everyone out except essential personnel. As the crowd dispersed, Marcus moved closer to the man, his savior, and knelt down to be at eye level with little Emma. Hi, sweetheart, he said softly. My name is Marcus. What's yours? Emma, she whispered, her voice small but brave. Are you going to make my daddy leave? Marcus felt tears burning behind his eyes for the first time in a decade. No, honey. I'm going to help your daddy help you. He stood and extended his hand to the man. I don't even know your name. David Chen. David, I owe you my life. And I'm about to spend the rest of it making sure you never regret saving it. Marcus pulled out his phone and dialed his CFO. Janet, I need you to arrange an immediate transfer of $500,000 to a David Chen. Personal account, not company. And I want you to find me the names of every person who's ever reviewed applications for our medical foundation. I want them in my office tomorrow morning at 8. David's knees seemed to buckle. Mr. Sterling, I just need enough for the surgery. The surgery, recovery, follow-up care, and a trust fund for Emma's education, Marcus interrupted. And it's Marcus, please. You gave me 15 more years of life. David, the least I can do is make sure your daughter gets to live hers fully. I don't understand, David whispered, tears streaming down his face. I just came here because I was desperate. I never expected. That's exactly why you deserve it, Marcus said. You saved my life that day expecting nothing in return. You didn't even stick around to be thanked. Do you have any idea how rare that is? How many people would have held out their hand the moment I was conscious? But you just disappeared, like an angel. He looked at the tattoo again, at that date that had marked his rebirth. Why did you get it? David wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. Because that was the day I learned what I was capable of. I was working 2 dead-end jobs, had just broken up with my girlfriend, thought my life was going nowhere. Then I saw your car go into that water, and something in me just acted. For the first time in my life, I did something that mattered. That date reminds me that I'm stronger than I think I am, that I can make a difference. Marcus looked at this man, this hero in a patched denim jacket, and saw everything he'd lost in his pursuit of success. Humility, selflessness, the ability to act without calculating, the return on investment. I built an empire after you saved me, Marcus said quietly. I told myself I was going to make my life count for something. But somewhere along the way, I forgot what that actually means. I've been so focused on profits and acquisitions that I forgot about people. About the David Chens of the world who keep society running on kindness and courage. He knelt down again, this time speaking to Emma directly. Your daddy is a hero, sweetheart. He saved my life. And now I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure he never has to stand in another lobby begging for help, okay? Emma nodded, then surprised him by wrapping her small arms around his neck. Marcus closed his eyes, feeling something crack. Open in his chest, some wall, he'd built brick by brick over 15 years of ruthless business deals and lonely nights in penthouses. That felt more like prisons than palaces. When he pulled back, he looked up at David. I want to hire you, not out of charity, but because I need someone like you in my company. Someone who understands what it means to help people without expecting credit. I want you to head up a new division, Sterling Foundation Direct Services. You'll have a budget of $50 million a year, and your only job will be to find people who've fallen through the cracks. People like you, People who deserve better than form letter rejections. David stared at him, mouth open. I work in a warehouse. I don't have any experience. You have the most important experience, Marcus interrupted. You have a heart. I can teach you the business side. I can't teach what you already have. That night, as Marcus sat in his penthouse overlooking the city lights, he pulled up his sleeve and looked at his own arm, bare and unmarked. Tomorrow he'd call his tattoo artist. Tomorrow he'd get his own reminder of June 14th, 2010. Not the day he almost died, but the day a stranger proved that humanity was still worth saving. The next morning, David Chen walked into Sterling Enterprises not as a desperate father begging for help, but as the newest executive of a company that was about to remember its soul. And in a hospital 3 weeks later, Emma, Chen came out of surgery with a healthy heart and a future bright with possibilities. Marcus Sterling had built an empire, but it took a man in a patched denim jacket to teach him that the real measure of success isn't what you accumulate, it's what you give away and who you lift up when nobody's watching. Sometimes the most valuable thing you own isn't in your bank account. It's in the scars you bear, the people you help, and the tattoos that remind you of the moments when everything changed.